our first live interview with Colie from the Real World Denver. Thank you, Colie, for
thank you for having me.
First, when did you decide to apply and end up doing the Real World?
Well, for me, it was all kind of, everything happens for a reason. I went to Tulane University, and in the fall of 2005, Hurricane Katrina hit. So we had to be evacuated, and it was really chaotic. Everybody had to go to different schools because Tulane shut down. So I ended up going to Boston University, and it was there that I was just walking down the street, and I saw this bar, and I was like, why are all these people applying to work at this bar? So I'm like, let's just do it with my girlfriends, and we got online, and they were like, no, actually, this is an open casting call for the Real World. So we were like, on a whim, let's do it. And there began an 8-month casting process for the show.
How did the being on the Real World Denver affect you in everyday life?
That's a good question. I think that the experience taught me a lot with interpersonal relationships. So I'm sure you recall some crazy characters on my show.
Yes.
And it takes a lot to be the bigger person and say, this is a battle I want to fight, and this is one that I can just let slide. And I think of anything, it really helped me relate to other people well and to have, important relationships in my life, and not always resort to, screaming and yelling like I saw some other people do. And it really helped me become more of a better friend.
What did you enjoy most of the show? What was your favorite?
My favorite part of the show was doing Outward Bound Wilderness program, which, if you remember, we went into the backwoods of Colorado for weeks at a time, and it was backpacking, and it was hiking, and it was working with students who had survived Hurricane Katrina. So it was really important to work with these kids because I had a close connection, a shared background, and then just the experience of being out there. I mean, at the end, we hiked a 14,000-foot mountain, and it was just the greatest feeling when you get to the top of the mountain and you're like, I did it. So it was a real growing experience.
Do you think the Real World accurately portrayed the events and all of the people in it?
Well, they always say that they can't show anything on TV that didn't happen. So they can't make up footage. But what you don't know is that editing plays a crucial role in how the show comes out. So you might see something and you think it's chronological order, but that actually happened the first week, and that other scene happened the last week. And they put it all together to make a cohesive television show, but it's really not in order of how it actually happened. Or you'll see an interview and you don't really know it's an interview because it's someone who looks like they're talking directly to the camera, but there's actually a producer right by saying, what do you think of Jen's drinking? And you're like, wait, I don't care about Jen's drinking. And they're like, no, you need to say something. So sometimes they try to force these statements out of you, but like I always say, they can't film it, they can't air it if they didn't film it. So it's true to life. They filmed us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's just a matter of what they pick and choose to show and how they want to make a TV show.
Yeah. We could tell from watching that some stuff may or may not be,
Yeah, you're like, wait, I wasn't wearing that outfit that day. She was wearing a,
Yeah.
And then you look back at it, and there is some kind of order and some kind of logic, but it's not always exactly how it really was.
Yeah. How would you sum up your experience being on the Real World?
How would I sum up my experience? I'd say, for me, I went 10 days after I graduated college. So it was like every summer I had done something. I had gone to sleepaway camp, I was a camp counselor, I was a teen tour counselor, and this was my summer of doing Real World and living in Denver. And for me, it was 3.5 months of partying and having a great time, but really getting these life experiences that only so few people have. Like, only so few people know what it's like to wake up in the morning and have to get a microphone put on, and you're on camera all the time, and no matter what you say, it's being recorded. So it definitely taught me a lot. I mean, I've never been a self-conscious person, and this definitely brought out the outgoing side of you, and you know that people are always watching, but it also teaches you to be very true to yourself, because when you see it on TV at the end, you're like, at least that's me. At least people watching, they could think whatever they want. They could like me or they can hate me. But at the end of the day, if I can walk away from it and be like, that's really truly me, then I feel good.